What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here with another review. Today I'm doing X-Men Blue Annual #1. And I'm going to start off and just say this is a hot piece of garbage. I've never read any of the X-Men Blue series. And honestly, outside of Astonishing X-Men and the New Phoenix Resurrection, I've been very disconnected from the X-Men franchise over the last decade or so. So a lot of what's going on is fairly foreign to me outside of what's been established in the crossovers and what I've read online. I do know that these are the time-displaced X-Men, but there are things about them I just don't understand. For the fact that, like, Cyclops. So here, you see he has, like, his cool headgear on, he has his blue suit, but when he's normal, just dressed in normal clothes, he still has a visor on. And it's like, his casual visor, it's kind of, I don't know, it's stupid. And then next, of course, Angel. I don't understand. He has these mechanical and fire wings going on. It's stupid. It's very obvious that over the course of the last probably 10 to 15 years, Marvel has not loved the X-Men. Because, you know, obviously the movie rights were with Fox, and Marvel wasn't making money off the movies, so that's why they kind of shifted towards the Inhumans. The Inhumans, don't get me started on that. I think those are hot pieces of garbage as well. I wish they would kind of go back to the old style format of X-Men. A small, well-written team that goes on adventures and tries to fight the prejudice of mutants into human society. And I think that's where the problem lies, is, you know, mutants have now been around for decades and decades and decades. Superheroes have been around for decades and decades and decades. It's almost foreign that mutants as a whole would not be accepted, you know, especially after Inhumans were so accepted. I mean, what's the difference outside of some Kree blood in your system? Hopefully, this might change that. I'm going to check X-Men Red out, but, you know, could be hit or miss. I'm not, you know, completely sold on it. So let's dive into this trash and get going. So we get a little catch-up page of both. I mean, okay, so this is how important the X-Men are, and that's how important Venom is. X-Men, Venom. X-Men, Venom. I mean, it's very apparent that this should not have been an X-Men story. It was almost like, hey, this book has been doing kind of crappy in sales. Let's do a crossover. Oh, what should we do a crossover with? Not one of the X series. Let's do one with Spider-Man's nemesis, Venom. Awful. And it irritates me that they didn't get Mike Costa to come in and write Venom, because this seriously has the worst portrayal of Venom that I've read in recent history. So we start off on the symbiote homeworld, where there's some symbiotes just kind of palling around. And there's obviously this guy here, he's into Ketchum, because he has some buyers for symbiotes. And this is where the story starts going downhill. On page 1, 2, 3. On page 4, we get Scott Summers. Again, look, this is his casual visor. You know, what's the difference in the visor between the one on the cover, which is kind of the action visor, which goes over the ears and looks kind of cool, and this casual one? I almost wish they would just go back and be like, look, Scott, grow up, wear your sunglasses. You know, maybe they just can't distinguish now the fact that Daredevil wears red sunglasses. Scott Summers wears red sunglasses. It's kind of, I don't know, a moot point. Either way, this looks stupid. Very dumb. Plus, you get, like, Fu Manchu, Mark Ruffalo as his dad, that's a strike against right there. So, his dad, I guess, is in the Starjammers, which are space pirates. Garbage. They're a big old bunch of just cool space pirates. So they get attacked after, after Scott's dad is like, hey, son, what kind of sexual conquests have you been on lately? To which he gets batted in the head by, I guess, his girlfriend. Because he has to live vicariously through his son, because that's not weird and or gross. Hey, look at this. Look at this, a 1-page ad. You're going into some action. It's not broken up by a freaking 2-page ad. 1 page. So there's some action. It's obviously a symbiote that attacks. We get this new person. And at first, again, this is Poison X. This is supposed to be a tie-in or a spin-off of Venomverse, where the poisons have traveled into this reality. Honestly, that's the only reason why I'm reading it, because I enjoyed Venomverse. I'm probably one of the few people that did. So we get this, and I thought this was a poison at first, and I was trying to figure out who this was, if this was like a Mary Jane symbiote turned poison, but it's not. Spoiler. So then Jean Grey comes after Scott sits there and just watches for like 10 minutes as his dad and his crew get attacked, and all he can do is just, Dad. So Jean Grey comes running, and she's like, hey, I heard you screaming in your mind because I've been creeping on you for like ever, which is not at all invasive. So they, she says she saw the face on the screen. It has to be, a symbiote. So they're like, well, let's go ask somebody who has a symbiote to help us. So they go after Venom, and this is where I started to get. I went from being like irritated to being kind of pissed off because they ruined Venom. Venom, if you read the Venom series, the Venom symbiote is right now only controlled by using a medical formula that Eddie gets from a lab that kind of keeps the symbiote in check, allows him to actually control it. Whereas here, and the symbiote has been more prone to violence lately. Whereas here we see him, Eddie, trying to, be like, hey, X-Men, like, I don't want to deal with your stuff. Whereas the symbiote is like, listen to them. You have to listen to them. And it's like, that's very uncharacteristic of their relationship right now. It's usually the other way around. Eddie trying to say, hey, look, we have to protect people. And the symbiote being like, nah, I don't care about those people. And it's just again, I don't understand Angel's Wings. Somebody hit me up in the comments, and is it like are they robot wings that just shoot fire? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, they fight for like three pages before the symbiote knocks him out. This is some garbage. You get to kind of see some of the worst designed symbiote users or symbiote armors ever. Again, and at first I thought these were poisons, but then the more I saw them, no, they're just symbiotes that, again, it looks awful. It's just so awful. So then we go back, and Eddie is still being kind of a douche about things, and the symbiote is telling him, like, hey, listen, and he refuses to listen. Again, so bad. So bad. The fact that, again, these two are supposed to be on the same wavelength, and yet they cannot, like, Eddie is just refusing to listen to the symbiote, which is very, very uncharacteristic. So it turns out they're in space already. and they go to this planet to try and find the Starjammer ship, and then there, they go into, might as well be the Star Wars bar, which, I mean, and even Bobby makes a dumb joke about, like, you know, how it looks cooler in the movies than, you know, than in real life. And just, they're so awfully, everything about this book irritated me. And then, of course, you get to see, as the big reveal, here, I'm gonna get this close up because I don't want to, like, I mean, some of the worst villain design. Like, what is going on here? Horrible. Horrible. Again, the only reason why I picked this up was because it was a Poison X tie-in and with Venom. And I've been enjoying the Venom series. I enjoyed Venom Inc., which was the last crossover. I wish, you know, they would give Venom a really good solo run instead of just kind of one story into a crossover, and they're going to give him one book and then into another crossover. So, no, don't buy this. Don't waste your time. It's garbage. Now my OCD won't let me not buy this. The next issue, that of course is X-Men Blue. So I'll do a review once it comes out. I think in 2 or 3 weeks. But subscribe over here. Watch some more videos. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.